Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements, my friends, so that you can get a more complete picture. Or if you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. All right, let's get started here. This deck feels funny. I'm going to shuffle it one more time. Let's start with what is the current energy around Leo for the week ahead. Current energy around Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you. Okay, let's see what came out here. So we are seeing Breathe in the reverse and Milk and Honey coming through upright. So very interesting first two cards. Let's have a look on the bottom of the deck is No Place Like Home. So you've got card 50 and 51 here. No Place Like Home on the bottom of the deck makes me feel like it's about being authentic this week. It's about finding what really feels like home to you. Really exploring how to bring the self into stillness to discover that authentic feeling, to discover what makes you feel pleasure, fulfillment, happiness. Where do you feel like you thrive, Leo? And where do you feel like you feel drained or depleted? This is a week of feeling mindful about those feelings. Where do you feel at home and where do you feel drained or depleted? And how can you shake off those feelings by getting outside and moving your body, by taking in some fresh air, by connecting with nature, by reminding yourself that everything around you is sort of a miracle and each breath is precious. And so there's this idea of sort of shaking off inertia, shaking off apathy, really feeling like those moments that make you feel drained, to shake them off. Don't let them become sort of the tone of your week. I kind of feel like you might be encountering something this week that you will need to shake off. Something that may sort of trigger a feeling of signs of slowing down, a feeling of lifelessness, a lack of fulfillment. So sort of feeling that energy this week and then not sitting in it. Making sort of a conscious choice to say, that's not the vibe that feels authentic for me. That's not bringing me a satisfaction or feeling of fulfillment. So I'm going to shake it off and shift out of that feeling. And I'm going to take a walk and remind myself that everything in life is magical and can be transformed through my perception and my perspective and my movement. And that's a really interesting message to come sort of really strongly through the first few cards. This is an opportunity for you to set the tone. And seeing the 51 card here, this Milk and Honey, tells me that you can enter into this state whenever you want. You don't have to stay in a state of mind or a state of being or acting or doing that makes you feel drained, Leo. You can be in a state of mind no matter what's going on around you. That state of mind can be your home. And you can set the tone for that home environment. You know, using that idea of home as a metaphor, you get to set that tone for yourself. What feels authentic to you? What makes you feel alive and thriving and that you're comfortable in your own skin? This is really a time of feeling that comfort within and that it's yours to call up at any time you wish or desire. Or if you're surrounded by other vibes, you can go into this place of home, this milk and honey, this feeling of sort of being able to shake off something that doesn't resonate for you, that you don't have to sit in it. You have the ability to transform yourself by transforming your perception, your outlook. And look at what's coming through as I cut the deck, my friends. We're seeing the Magician and the Lovers. This idea of being the architect and sort of transforming things through your own as above, so below perception. And seeing the Lovers says that authenticity is where you set that tone, where you get to be yourself. And how do you embody that energy? And what do you do to sort of surround yourself by that? How do you shake off anything that feels less than authentic? Very interesting to cut the deck and see those two cards for you as we're talking about authenticity and setting the tone. That you don't have to embody certain energies that you pick up on in your day-to-day. You can shake them off. Have you ever been in a situation where you find yourself sort of needing to leave a space, or maybe like what's coming to mind is needing to leave a gathering, like being in a gathering and being like, oh, this doesn't serve me to stay in this moment for too long because the energy or the vibration of the gathering doesn't resonate with you. There's no judgment. It's just like, I don't feel it here. I'm not feeling at home here. I'm not feeling comfortable here. And so then sort of needing to almost put your shields up and rebalance your energy somewhere else where you can shake off any sort of feelings that may be draining you. And the beauty of it is that we have that ability, and it's wonderful. It's almost like a self-grounding mechanism that we can tap into any time by being on this planet. Go for a walk, touch a tree, ask it for guidance, go sit down in a park somewhere, or go for a run. Sometimes running can be really interesting in terms of that pounding on the earth to sort of call out a new vibration, and this idea of the wind, even thinking about the wind drawing out anything, pulling as you run or walk into the wind, and allow that wind to cleanse you through it moving in the opposite direction. Ooh, that card wants to come out. Oh, it's the 10 of Wands, which is perfect. You're done. You're done with something that's making you feel exhausted, drained, and like it's a burden. You're ready to set these wands down and pick up some new ones that you want to pick up, ones that make you feel at home, ones that make you feel comfortable in your own skin, not ones that make you feel drained or exhausted or like you just want to sleep, you just want to take a nap, you just want to go home and hide, as opposed to feeling at home wherever you are by sort of grounding in that beautiful transformative energy that the earth provides us with. This is really interesting, Leo. Very interesting messages coming through for you. Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Okay, so this is really an opportunity for you to look at sort of a more innocent time where it might have felt like you were able to step into that comfort zone more easily. And seeing the Knight of Pentacles with that Six of Cups tells me that you're moving in that direction. The movement that you're carefully moving towards, or the space, I should say, that you're moving towards is one where you felt at home. This more innocent feeling of emotion where you just felt good about stuff. Do you ever think about sometimes when you were a child and the world was just new still? So, you may have had this very fresh way of looking at the world that felt innocent and fulfilling and positive. And it's almost like sometimes as we get older and we start to see other things in our life experience, depending on what gets sort of bonded with your energy from those experiences, you might feel a little bit like you don't want to make an effort. You might feel drained in some areas. You might feel like, it's impacting the energy of a certain space or opportunity impacts you in a way where you're thinking, I just don't like the way I feel. And for some of us, we internalize that, and then we think it's us, that we are somehow draining ourselves, and that we're depressed, or we have these feelings of like really not wanting to engage in anything, and then it's almost like you're rewriting that to see it in a different way, to see that you don't have to sit there in that energy anymore, that you can set the tone by shifting it. It doesn't have to be a one-way street, that you have an ability to shift out of that as you need to. And seeing the Tower come up sort of is an interesting reinforcement for me that the way you see things is coming into balance, and it's moving towards this more sort of peaceful time where you're setting the tone, that if something ends up making you feel drained, or sort of disturbs that wonderful inner comfort you've created for yourself, you're sort of not, you're not allowing that to drain you, or that you're being guided to not let that drain you. Seeing the Eight of Pentacles in reverse on the bottom of the deck says that the current vibe around you may be very draining right now. And it's like you're being guided to find a way to bring that into balance for yourself so that you don't feel drained, so that you can sort of tune in and tap into a different time when things felt simpler. That Six of Cups makes me think of a time where things felt simpler and more innocent, and there's almost this idea of your inner child being at peace and wanting to feel that warmth and comfort of being at peace, and tuning into that so that you don't feel stuck in certain moments or experiences where the energy feels lower than the vibe you're creating for yourself. Very interesting. Let's clarify a few of these cards. I'm really curious about all of them, actually, wanting to see a little deeper into that. Okay, so surrender, looking at things from a different perspective, intentionally looking at things from a different perspective so that you can sort of see how to not feel like you can't sort of retune that energy to one that suits you. Seeing the Fool in reverse says to me that, letting go, that idea of pursuing a different vibe and moving towards it, clarifying that Knight of Pentacles that moves slowly but surely. And so it's almost like take that path yourself here, Leo. There's the Empress. Yeah, regrounding your inner child, body, mind, and soul coming together to create that really in-flow sort of energy where you're no longer interested in these conflicts. Anything that feels like conflict, anything that takes away your balance, anything that feels like it's drawing you into drama or comparison with others, like it almost feels like an ego battle here. You're not about that. You're wanting to stay in balance. You want to stay away from things like that. I think internally you're being guided away from those things. Seeing the Tower in reverse with the Two of Swords clarifying it is very interesting, because I feel like there's a part of you that's like indecisive about what to do when you're in those moments. And I feel like this reading is guiding you to tune into those moments in a way that allows you to walk away from things that don't vibe with your energy. You've got two eights on the bottom of the decks here. You've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse on this deck and the Eight of Cups in reverse on this deck. So it feels to me like you're moving towards things that resonate for you. You're moving towards moments where you feel empowered and moments where you feel satisfied and fulfilled. And that seems to be the guidance for you this week, is to be mindful of how you feel in certain spaces, and then adjusting your own vibe through your own abilities to ground yourself, but also to choose to be more selective. You don't have to be in all the spaces, and they certainly don't have to all resonate with you. So it's interesting. Look at that. Listen deeply is coming through, and harmony and resolution. I can't help but feel like you've made a resolution to stay in a certain frequency. And Leo, I feel like you're really trusting your higher self here, and you're listening deeply to how you feel about something and how it makes your energy vibrate. Are you in a place where you end up vibrating very low, which creates a feeling of inertia and stalemate, and I just gotta go home and rest? Or are you feeling invigorated by something? Is it bringing in that harmony and balance for you in a way that allows you to feel like you're thriving? It's interesting. I feel like you're going to have to make some decisions about this, and to trust yourself, to really trust that inner voice, that inner knowing, your higher self, in order to guide you through this, because I feel like it could lead to new opportunities, as well as this sort of timing to allow you to trust yourself and to feel that you can take action towards bringing in that fulfillment. Even if it's not present where you're sitting, you can change where you're sitting and move into a new space. I feel like you're being guided to be very aware of that, and to not fear the movement, to move into a new space, to leave things behind that don't feel fulfilling, to end patterns that leave you feeling out of balance. Wow, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Leo. I hope it's been helpful and resonated for you. I look forward to reading for you again, and I'm sending you so much love, my friends. Take care.